So you know when you think you've finished something and then you wind up having to do it all over again? Well, I thought I was recording while I was doing these ears, and I wasn't. So what I'm going to do is show you how I got to this point. So what I do is I take a blob-like shape of ear, and then I use my transparency to kind of cut it down to the size it should actually be. And then using assorted tools, I'll go in and make all the shapes that create a human ear. Now almost everyone's ear is the same. They have the outer ring that kind of curves over. You have that little ring that goes towards the middle and into the ear canal. And then there's a secondary blob in the middle of your ear that has like a Y shape at the top and then is thicker down through. So that's basically, I make the ear as close as I could to what it looked like Freddie's ear, and there'll be more fine tuning later. But I'm working on my glazed glass tile, the same tile I made my eyeballs on. So basically, I keep doing this. I keep checking it with the transparency to make sure I haven't made it too big, and that's where we go. If anybody's wondering what the heck happened to my hands, no, I don't belong to the Fight Club, because if I did belong to the Fight Club, I wouldn't talk about Fight Club. What happened is I have this rash that showed up a few months ago, and I had it biopsied, and it's called a granuloma, and they don't know where it comes from. They really don't know how to get rid of it either, and it takes about 2 or 3 years for it to go away. But those 2 really red sore spots on my index finger and middle finger knuckle are from Freddie, taking him in and out of the oven. I burned right on top of the granulomas. So that was fun. I'm not going to completely do the ear, but I'm just trying to show you and give you an idea of how I created the 2 that are already there. It's a bit tedious, takes a while, but this is basically what you do. You just push that clay around till it looks like a human ear. So here's the fully baked head from before, and I've done some light sanding to smooth it out a bit. And the preparation, first caveat is only do one ear at a time, because if you do this ear, turn it over, and try to do this ear, you will smush this ear. I know this from experience. Okay, so the first thing I do is I just slightly scratch up this area to give it a little tooth. Not much, because the bacon bond will be sufficient to do the job, holding the ear on. Okay, that's quite enough. And I will put a little bit of bacon bond in this area. What I'll do next is take a little bit of uncured clay and put this around what would normally be the back of the ear, in preparation for, if the ear lays too flat, I have something in the back to push against it with. No ear lays completely flat on the head, so there's always a little curved area coming off where it meets the ear. So I just put that little piece there in preparation. Give it a little
little smush down. At the ends. Put a little more Bacon Bond on there, just to make sure. Okay, now I take my surgical blade and very quickly get that under there and slide this off without distorting it too much. Keeping in mind where the center of the ear is over that hole. Try and place the ear. I used my clear reference guide to make sure the ear is more or less in the right position, which it is not. Down further and leaning back. Oh, I'm not happy with that. I'm going to lift it up again. Bring this a little forward. Now you'll find the ear will get slightly distorted doing this, but it's unbaked, so you can still fool around with it. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that placement now. I'm going to slightly smooth down this area. And gently make that piece in the back blend with this ear. This is very tedious and time consuming, so I'm just going to speed it up now. Okay, so after pleating and cajoling that ear for what seemed like forever, I think we're pretty good. And I'm going to go bake this one and do it all over again for the other ear. Wish me luck! Okay, so we're back with the Frito Bandito. Well, he has his 2 ears now. Happy with that. And I rolled out a very thin piece of clay, and I'm going to start giving him a semblance of a base for a mustache. It's very thin. I don't know if you can see how thin that piece is. It's like a 32nd of an inch thin. So I'm just going to kind of push this down. If I can find my tool. Here it is. Not where it's supposed to be. Push this down along his lip. And I'll bring that down around here. Cut that off there. That's way too big. But it's just blocking it in like we did with the ugly head in the very beginning. So now I'm going to start taking away some of the structure of this. He had it pretty neatly away from his face. Sorry I keep flowing out of frame. It's just impossible. I don't know how other people do it.